Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. So I have come with a very exciting problem once again. So this problem is related to limits concept. Like the way this question actually illustrates the concept is actually the main thing that we need to think upon. The logic actually that we need to use to bring into a correct form, like the actual form that actually need to be evaluated. And also there are two concepts, main concepts that gonna involve in this. The critical thinking, actually that aspect will be tested in this question. So I hope it will be a very good challenging problem to all the math geeks sitting out there. And also this solution could be a tougher one or could be a lengthier one compared to other solution. So this is my method to solve this. So like I have no idea like how people various methods people do have to solve this problem. So this is one of the method. So I just wanted to illustrate and show that to you people. So the question is, if AB belongs to R and B is not equal to 0 and N is belong to natural numbers. So these are all the properties of A and B and N is natural number, belongs to natural number, fine. And so the thing is, limit N tends to infinity, 1 factorial into 2 factorial into 3 factorial and so on, N factorial, whole power 1 by N square. So it's whole power 1 by N square divided by N power alpha is equal to B. So this total limit N tends to infinity, the value is B, and so we need to find the value of, so this is not alpha, this is A, so this N power A, so we need to find the values of A and B. So that's the question. So this is like seems to be a tough function to evaluate the limit at N tends to infinity. So let us see like what's the logic, the main logic that we need to use. So first of all, writing the question that is given to us, that is if we assume this, so limit N tends to infinity, so it's limit, so I'll just reduce the thickness of the ink, so it's limit N tends to infinity 1 factorial into 2 factorial into 3 factorial into so on till N factorial into whole power 1 by N square divided by N power alpha. So we have a limit, just a moment. So N power alpha. So this is the question that is given to us now. So how do we do this is, so first logic is taking log. So if I assume this limit has some b, so this it has been given to us, the value is b, so let us take log on both sides, fine. So that's the first logic, and that's the main thing because we have the N in the denominator also, and on which we are discussing the limit. So it's better we make that to, like, we get that in the form of only in the numerator. So it's better we take log on both sides. So it's log of 1 factorial into 2 factorial into 3 factorial till N factorial whole power 1 by N square and minus alpha ln n. So it's ln on both sides, fine. It's like it doesn't matter it's whether log or ln, so but I'm just taking ln. So it's ln of 1 factorial into 2 factorial into 3 factorial whole power into N factorial whole power 1 by N square minus alpha ln n is equal to ln b, fine. So this is the thing. And now again using the basic properties of ln and log, so this is basically 1 by N square of totally 1 factorial into 2 factorial into so on into N factorial minus alpha ln n is equal to ln b, fine. So this is the equation. So let us first concentrate on this segment first, fine. So concentrating on that segment, I'll just solve that segment first. So that is 1 by N square into ln of 1 factorial into 2 factorial into so on till N factorial. So this I'll be writing as 1 by N square as same as it is, and this because ln a b c d till so on, like something like other term. So it is basically using the ln properties. So it is ln of 1 factorial plus ln of 2 factorial plus so on till ln of N factorial, fine. And this is basically 1 by N square, and again ln 1 factorial, so I'll just write it as 1, yeah, ln1, and this is ln2 factorial is ln2 like 2 factorial is 2 into 1, so it's ln of 2 into 1. Again we can write this as ln2 plus ln1, isn't it? The very second bracket, like the very second term is expanded into this, and the third term would be ln3 plus ln2 plus ln1. Fine, so this is the third term, and so on till ln n factorial. So that could be written as ln n plus ln of n minus 1. So yeah, ln of n minus 1 plus so on ln1. Fine, so this is the last bracket. And now, so from this we can come to the conclusion that because there are ln n, means there are n terms basically, like these are n terms, so from these n terms we will be getting n ln1s. Fine, so because in every term we are able to find ln1, so there are totally n ln1, and except the first term we are able to find ln2 in all the terms, that means there are n minus 1 ln2 terms. Fine, so in the same way the n minus 2 ln3 and so on. Fine, so this is how you will be evaluating, like expanding the very first term. And now I'll just combine these two, that is totally it's the total, I'm just writing the first term as well as the second term. So it is limit n tends to infinity n ln1 plus n minus 1 ln2 plus n minus 2 ln3 plus so on ln n divided by n square. Fine, so this is the first term, as well as like or else we will just do one thing, I'll not close the bracket here. So yeah, and this is the very first term, and then what's the other term that we have? Minus alpha ln n. Fine, so now we can just close the bracket. This is for this whole term we need to evaluate when n tends to infinity. So again, concentrating on this, the very first term, we can modify this into a general form. Fine, we can modify this into a general form because we find a series here, sum of the series here, so we can just modify this into a general form, that is sigma. So I'll just write that here. So we can just modify this. So this is sigma, like finding the Tn, basically finding the Tn of this series, that is sigma r is equal to 1 to n plus 1 minus r divided by n into ln r. Fine, so and this we have 1 by n here. So you can just substitute, when you keep r, like when we put r is equal to 1, we're gonna get ln1 into n, and when we put like ln n, so this totally n ln1 divided by n square is the very first term in this, so it's basically ln1 by n. So that's what we're gonna get, n plus 1 minus 1, which is n by n, 1 into ln1 divided by n. So this is the very first term, and when you put when we put n is equal to 2, we're gonna get the second term. So this is a tr, like a tn, the general term of this series. And what's the other thing that we are left with? Minus alpha ln n. Fine, I'm not writing the limit n tends to infinity for now, for the space sake and all. So this is the like a general term, and now we are able to find r by n here. Fine, we are able to find r by n here, but there is no term r by n here. Fine, we have only ln r, but we have ln n here. So what do we do is, we better add the same thing to subtract the same thing like this in like having ln n, so that we get this form into ln r by n. So what I mean is, so I'll just show that. So what I'll be doing is, I'll just add first I'll just subtract minus 1 by n sigma r is equal to 1 to n plus 1 minus r divided by n ln n, and because I've subtracted this, I must add this. Fine, so 1 by n sigma r is equal to 1 to n plus 1 minus r divided by n ln n. Fine, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to subtract this and then add this. So what's the benefit of this is, I'll just show that in the next step. So now I can just take this whole common, that is 1 by n sigma r is equal to 1 to n plus 1 minus r by n. I've just taken this common, and because sigma, so we can add the terms. So finally we'll be getting this nlr minus ln n and minus alpha ln n plus n minus 1 to and there is a sigma here, plus sigma r is equal to 1 to n, you have 1 by n here, 1 plus 1 minus r divided by n ln n. Fine, so this is the term that we are left with, and now this settles to be like this term, that is 1 by n sigma r is equal to 1 to n plus 1 minus r divided by n ln r by n. Fine, now we have got this term ln r by n, and now we'll be simplifying the other two terms. So this is minus alpha ln n and plus, so this is, I'll just take this n outside of this because this sigma is dependent upon the r, not upon the n, so I can just take this out, 1 by n square. Also I can take the ln n outside, so I'll be getting ln n, and sigma r is equal to 1 to n, r is equal to 1 to n, n plus 1 minus r. Fine, and this, if we just simplify this here itself, so sigma r is equal to 1 to n, n is, so that's, we can again take the n outside, so you're gonna get n into n, n square, so this is n square. So just, I'm just evaluating this total term here, n square, and this sigma r is equal to 1 to n, to 1 is n, and plus r is equal to 1 to n, sigma r is minus n into n plus 1 divided by 2. Fine, so this is what we're gonna get. So finally, so the next step is, so the first term, that is 1 by n, sigma r is equal to 1 to n, n plus 1 minus r divided by n, ln r by n. This is the first term, and then we have the second term, that is minus alpha ln n, and the third term would be n into n plus 1 divided by 2 n square ln n. Fine, so this would be the third term, because you can just see here, because sigma r is equal to 1 to n, sigma n is, you can just take n outside, and then you'll be getting the sigma as n, so n into n, n square, and sigma r is equal to 1 to n, 1 is n, and sigma r is equal to 1 to n, sigma r is n into n plus 1 divided by 2. So just solving this and substituting here, we're gonna get this finally in this way, plus n into n plus 1 divided by 2n square ln n. So this is what we're gonna get. Now what I'll be doing is, I'll just take ln n terms common, so finally we'll be getting it in this way, 1 by n, sigma r is equal to 1 to n, n plus 1 minus r by n, ln r by n. I've just taken this ln n common, so I'm gonna get n into n plus 1, so we'll just expand this also, so n into n plus 1 by 2n square, that's n square by 2n square, so that gonna be 1 by 2, and then 1 by 2n, and this minus alpha here, so minus alpha. So this is what we are left with. And now how to solve this, like what's the method to solve this is, so for this, because we know that this limit actually exists, fine, because we have assumed this as some b, and in the question also it has been mentioned that it is some b, the value of the limit exists. So for this, as now limit n tends to infinity, for this to exist, what if we just take alpha to be half? Fine, if we assume alpha to be half, I'm just taking this as alpha, don't mention, like alpha is the same as a, so cancel, so we'll be remained with ln n divided by 2n. Fine, ln n divided by 2n. And now this is what we are left with, if we assume alpha as half. So what's the use of it? Because n tends to infinity, we know that like n, the increase of ln n as compared to n is less, so the derivative of n with respect to n is greater than derivative of ln n, d of ln n, because derivative of ln n, you can just find that to be 1 by n, so the increase of dn by the increase of n value is more compared to ln n, so the value of n would be as n tends to infinity, ln n by 2n converges to 0, so the total value is 0. So this to exist, we must assume alpha as half, not the value doesn't come out to be 0, like the perfect limit doesn't exist for this term. And now coming to this term, I'll just evaluate this in the next page. So that is 1 by n, sigma r is equal to 1 to n, n plus 1 minus r divided by n, ln r by n. Fine, so this is the term that we are finally left with. So how to evaluate this limit is, convert using this form, that is converting into definite integral. So if we convert this into definite integral, we can be able to evaluate this like limit. So basically what's the thing that we need to do is, so I'll be assuming r by n as x, fine, r by n as x, so 1 by n comes out to be dx, fine, r by n as x and 1 by n as dx, and then this sigma turns out to be integral and now just taking the upper limit and lower limit. So how to find this? If I assume the lower limit is a A and the upper limit is a B, then A is the derivative of the R is equal, like the starting point, that is d of 1 with respect to dn, so which is equal to 0, and B is d of n with respect to dn, so which is equal to 1. So the upper limit will be 1 and the lower limit will be 0. And finally this n plus 1 minus r divided by n ln r by n can be like simplified further, that is 1 by n sigma r is equal to 1 to n. So this 1 minus r by n, and the other term that we are left with 1 minus r by n and plus 1 by n, I think. So this is the term that we are left with. So 1 minus r by n plus 1 by n into ln r by n. Fine. So now I'll just multiply this. So that is 1 by n. I'll just send this 1 by n inside. So that is sigma r is equal to 1 to n. It's 1 by n minus r by n square plus 1 by n square into ln r by n. Fine. So this is a term that will be left with. Now what's the thing logic is, we just need to take 1 by n common here. So that is sigma r is equal to 1 to n 1 by n of 1 minus r by n. Fine. 1 by n into 1 minus r by n. I'll just multiply this ln r by n towards inside. I'll just bring this inside. So this comes out to be ln r by n, and the other sigma will be r is equal to 1 to n 1 by n square into ln r by n. Fine. And now this comes out to be in this form. So this is basically sigma r is equal to 1 to n 1 by n into 1 minus r by n into ln r by n. So this is basically, if I assume r by n as x, so we have assumed already, so we can convert this into integral 0 to 1 1 minus r by n is 1 minus x, and this ln r by n is ln x dx. So this is the value of this, and now this is basically, so this I'll be evaluating in the next page. So that integral that we are left with is sigma r is equal to 1 to n, sigma r is equal to 1 to n 1 by n square ln r by n. Fine. 1 by n square ln r by n. This is the integral we are left with. So I'll just take 1 by n outside. So this comes out to be r is equal to 1 to n 1 by n ln r by n. Fine. So this is again a definite integral of the type 1 by n from 0 to 1 ln x dx. Fine. X is r by n, 1 by n is dx, and the limits can be obtained by derivating the starting and the end points of the series. So this is 1 by n 0 to 1 ln x dx. So this is a finite quantity. Fine. This is a finite quantity, and n is tending to infinity. So finite by infinity is actually 0. So the total value of this is 0. So only integral we are left out to evaluate it, 0 to 1 1 minus x ln x dx. So it's 0 to 1 n minus x ln x dx. So we shall assume like using UV rule. So using UV rule, so we can assume this as u and this as v. So this turns out to be ln x from 0 to 1 1 minus x dx, and minus derivative of u with respect to x, that is 1 by x, and again integrating. So this is again from 0 to 1 1 minus x dx. Fine. So this is what we're gonna get, and now this is ln x of x minus x square by 2 from 0 to 1, and minus of this 1 by x of x minus x square by 2, and from again 0 to 1. And this, if you just put ln1, this ln x would be 0, so total term would be 0, and when we put 0 in the place of x, we would be getting 0 minus 0, again the total term is 0. So finally this this part is 0, and in this, after putting 1, we're gonna get minus like there's a minus here, yeah, fine. So minus of 1 minus 1 square divided by so everything is fine, right? Like we have done in the right way. So 1 minus 1 square. Yeah, so we get, there's still an integral that we need to evaluate from 0 to 1. So yeah, I'll just erase this stuff. So this is yeah, so this is, so we still need to evaluate this integral. So that is minus 0 to 1 1 by x of x, that's 1, and minus x of minus x squared by 2, that would be minus x by 2, so totally dx. So that is x minus so minus of x minus x square by 4 from 0 to 1. So after putting the limits, we're gonna get 1 minus 1 by 4, that is 3 by 4, so minus of 3 by 4 minus 3 by 4. So finally the value is, so I'll just write that here. So ln b, the value of ln b is e power, so that is ln b, we have got this to be minus 3 by 4. So e power minus 3 by 4 is equal to b. So this is the value of b. So b value is e power minus 3 by 4, and the other value that we are left out with is a, that we have found out, that is alpha, that's basically alpha. So a is equal to alpha and b is equal to e power minus 3 by 4. So this was a bit tough, or I would say lengthy approach, like, but we are able to find lot of concepts inside it. First of all, converting this into definite integral, and then getting a logic of converting into r by n form. So there's a lot of mathematics included in it. So I hope you guys will enjoy this problem. So I would say, like, some people would have had may have a easier approach than this. So I don't say like there's no other easier approach to solve this problem. There may be an easier approach to solve this problem, but I just wanted to share this method because there's a lot of mathematics included in it, and it would actually be a challenging stuff to do in this way for math geeks sitting out there.